About 5 months ago, I decided I was going to breed some honey gouramis. These turned out to be quite an easy fish to breed, and I had them spawning within a week. Growing them up was easy, and I've managed to build up quite a large group of them. In this video, I'll show you day 1 to 150 of my honey gourami breeding project. I started out with 2 pairs of fish, some of the yellow variety and some of the red. The males have much more colour than the females. I set up this very simple tank for them and added a few banana leaves. I also added some various floating plants. All of this will provide the gouramis with a place to build their bubble nest. After adding the fish, I gave them a feed with some baby brine shrimp. This will help the fish to think that there is an abundance of tiny food for their babies. Only the very next day, we already had some promising signs. It seems that the males built a massive bubble nest, and it's covering the whole surface of the tank. The fish were also highly flirtatious.
I love you.
I expect them to spawn within the next day.
I love you. Bye-bye.
A day later, as expected, I found some eggs in the bubble nest. You need a very close look to see them. The male was a little antsy, so I decided to remove the female and leave him to do his job. He will take care of these eggs until they hatch, and this female will only disrupt him. And another day later, I could see some tails poking from the bubble nest. These eggs hatched quick, but it'll take a few more days until they can swim, so I'll leave the male in here to continue to care for his babies. A few more days passed, and the fry began to swim. At this stage, I removed the male.
No!
And the rest of the parenting was now up to me. These fry are tiny and too small to eat baby brine shrimp like I'd normally feed them. But luckily, I had a plan. This is filter juice from one of my old sponges here in the room, and it is chock full of tiny infusorias that I can feed to these babies. They quickly took to it, and you could see all their little bellies beginning to fill. At this stage, I also added a few mystery snails to help with cleaning up any leftover food. A couple days later, I thought the fry were big enough to start eating some baby brine shrimp, so I introduced a few drops. But they still seemed a little too small to eat this, so I continued to feed them the filter juice. I also added some bug buffet by crushing it up into a fine dust on the surface of the water. These little particles will help feed the baby gouramis until they're big enough to take the brine shrimp. In the meantime, I decided to run an interesting experiment by setting up the gold female with the red male. We'll check up on these eggs at the end of the video to see what colours we created. A couple weeks passed and our fry really began to grow. By this stage, they were fairly independent, and I found them constantly searching the tank, looking for their next meal. I've been feeding them brine shrimp twice a day, once in the morning and once at night, along with a healthy dose of bug buffet, and it seems to be doing the trick. And only a couple weeks later, our little fry are starting to look like their parents. The snails have grown significantly too. I always find it interesting watching them grow. I continued to feed the bug buffet and do water changes for the next few months, until they reached their full adult size. I sometimes wish they could stay this small forever. They are so cute. Our little honey gouramis are all grown up. This might be one of the most satisfying parts of the breeding process. But I'm sure you're all wondering, how did the red and yellow mix go? Well, the results are in, and it turns out we only got red fry. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.